All right. Good evening, everybody. Tonight we have Alan, who is an award winning filmmaker, speaker, and paranormal explorer, known for blending cinematic storytelling with real world investigations into the supernatural. He has directed and produced a wide range of films exploring unexplained phenomena, including The Back 80, A Haunting in Blue Hill, Ghosts in Ghost Towns, and The Bigfoot Alien Connection Revealed. Alan stars in the paranormal adventure series Trails to the Unknown and is featured in the acclaimed documentary Spiritual Bigfoot. Can't wait to talk to him tonight about all this stuff, so stay tuned on Unraveling the Darkness. Good evening, Aaron.
Good evening. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. Busy day, so it went by quick for me. How about you?
I'm glad it was busy for someone.
So
We
you were
were
saying
not.
it was crawling today, huh?
Oh man. And it's just, then all I do is like scroll and then you get that. Oh,
Yep.
so
I got to
yeah.
send you some more rabbit holes to go down.
Yeah, for sure. Then I'm doing something at work that, I'm like, oh look, I can look this up.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, you start wearing a tinfoil hat with me. We'll get you sized.
Oh boy. Yeah. Isn't it just like that size?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it
I
on
mean,
and there you
we'll
go.
do a little more flair. Yeah. A
I
little
want
more
one with
style.
like the big twirl at the top.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. Maybe,
Nice.
yeah. What was the old pinwheel hats? The ones that spin?
Nice. Lots of stuff in paranormal news this last week.
Yes.
You know, comedian Matt Rife purchases Ed and Lorraine Warren's house,
That.
becomes the owner of Annabelle. That's been traveling and all the crazy stuff.
Yeah. Matt Rife. I mean, I know he was, he had a previous interest in the paranormal. He had talked about doing some investigations and stuff like that. And so hopefully, he'll be like a good custodian of the property and make
Right.
it accessible for people, and just, hopefully he's just a, positive influence in the community, because I think that's what we all want and need, right? Just some
Yeah,
positive vibes going on.
it is. Yeah. Too much of the other stuff out there. Get some good stuff in here.
Maybe we'll have to hit him up and see if we can't get out there and go investigate Ed and Lorraine Warren's house.
Yeah. The occult museum
Yep.
would be awesome.
Yeah, so I just learned
So,
tonight talking to you. I thought I had heard a rumor that uh was it Nesper was gonna maintain like ownership or guardianship of Annabelle and all the stuff in the museum, but I guess from what I'm seeing, him and the guy he bought the property with have that too. So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been closed to the public for a while now. It'd be cool. I mean, Zach Baggins does it right. He has his museum of
yep.
stuff, so it'd be cool to have that one open up and be able to go through and see that kind of stuff. At least
Yeah,
for people like
absolutely.
us.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
I'll go nerd out in those museums all the time, man.
yeah. Pretty excited for tonight, Alan, from the series Trails into the Unknown and a haunting on Blue
Hunting on
Hill.
Blue Hill, yeah.
That's
Yeah, we
something.
actually met Alan for the first time here in Cheyenne when he was coming through, showcasing his documentary, Haunting on Blue Hill.
Yeah. People are gonna and go see that on most of those streaming services, and then later this year you're going to get to see what we did there because we had gone out to Blue Hill. So, but let's bring him in and chat with him a little bit.
Right.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Alan,
Evening,
how we
Alan.
doing?
good. How are you?
Good,
Good.
man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah, it's
we
always nice to have
appreciate
someone from our neck of the woods on.
Exactly.
Sometimes we think we're an East Coast podcast because that's mostly what we get is Tennessee on East.
More
Yeah,
people out there, I guess.
there is.
True.
You know, our first month, we thought we were pretty much a Tennessee podcast because it was everyone from Tennessee. And I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, we just had to kick it off with rubbing it in Aaron's face. If everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I've been to Brushy. It's a cool place," and it's like, no, appreciate it, man. Like, we'd have to drive like 36 hours to get there.
Exactly.
Well, and they're all like, oh yeah, you know, such and such is a couple hours away, and oh, this is a couple hours away, you know, and we got to drive to those places. And as you know, for us out here, you know, you're just in Colorado, so for us out here, we're driving 6 or more hours easy to get to some places.
Yeah, I think it's a little worse for you, but but still, yeah, we get around, we get some miles on, that's for sure.
Yeah,
We do.
and then let
So
alone the stuff you do locally ends up taking you up into the Rockies, and then so you're either driving or hiking to
Yeah,
go investigate. So
yeah,
I prefer the
y'all
hike.
Yeah.
y'all have done some stuff recently. Doing some Bigfoot stuff. That's right up Jason's wheelhouse. He's the Bigfoot guy of the group.
Yep.
What do you have going on there? What have you been doing?
So we're in the process of putting together our Trails to the Unknown season 2, and we found that we're a little light on some episodes, so we're looking to expand upon that. And we had a opportunity to take a couple of our friends who are paranormal people out and do some Bigfoot. I don't know what you want to call it, Bigfoot hike. So we took Richard Estep and Aaron Taylor out, and we hit the mother lode in some ways, and we've been back to that location probably 4 or 5 times now, filming more and more stuff. And I think we definitely have an episode of Trails to the Unknown, and I think we'll probably go beyond that. And there's probably a movie there at some point. I'm just not quite sure how it's going to play out because it's still very active for us, and we haven't concluded investigation. So for now, it's under wraps as we continue to go up there and film. But it's up in the Rocky Mountains. It's not too far from Bailey, Colorado, but it's pretty off the beaten path. So
Nice. Yeah, Erin's been on our show. Finally got to meet her in person at the Oddities Expo in Denver.
Yeah.
Last month or month before. I've talked to Richard, and I think we're going to have him on in September sometime. I got to
okay,
hit him back up. He's like, hit me in September.
yeah,
Both are great people.
they
you know.
are. They are.
People who don't know Richard, go check him out. He's written like 43 paranormal books. He's been a talking head on some of the like caught on camera shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Super cool guy.
Yeah, he was actually in our Haunting in Blue Hill film, sort of briefly. But it was a weird story because my father-in-law has a production company as well, and I do a lot of films with him. I do probably more films with him than I do with my own, because like I said, in the green room there, I'm a lot more selective on what we do with our group. We don't necessarily try to put out a film in any particular timeline. When we see something we think we want to make a film, then we go and do it. But he had said that he had set up an interview, and he told me to meet him at this guy's house, and we interviewed him. And it wasn't until later I even knew who he was. I had no idea that he was on the Travel Channel or whatever channel that is. And we didn't really have much of a connection other than I popped in his living room. I interviewed him for about 30-40 minutes, and then I was gone. So we kind of reconnected recently through Aaron. And it's been really great. We had a fantastic time on our little Bigfoot hike with him. So
nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. A wealth of paranormal knowledge for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I know.
Well, a little teaser is our Bigfoot activity does involve approaching it from a paranormal aspect. So we had I'm safe to say, a paranormal interaction with what we believe is Sasquatch.
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, in Bailey, Colorado. I mean, there's been some amazing evidence to come out of there.
Yeah.
The one that always sticks with me is the window picture. I know I've showed it before on here with Aaron, but
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this made the rounds, I think 2017. It was somebody they had a cabin in that area.
That bottom left one is pretty good. and then
Yes,
the
it
top
is.
right is like,
Yep.
the eyes on the top right, but you get that
Yep.
nose in that bottom left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that, and then you can just see intelligence in the eyes.
Mhm.
It's
Well, and
yeah.
that
I've always liked this picture.
I
like
don't
that
think
bottom
I've
middle,
seen
you
that
get
one.
that cone shape, head that's
Yeah, very cool. Well, it fits my theory. I think what we're messing around with up there are some younger ones, and I think they're going down to some of the houses down there and getting into mischief, like peeking in windows and stuff. So it kind of makes sense to me that that's what your photo you have there.
there
They're
you
out there
go.
ding dong ditching,
I
banging
think
on the
so.
door,
Yeah,
running away.
trash diving or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if the raccoons up there like it,
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Some people throw away some pretty good stuff.
So you did paranormal and UFO in the Trails to the Unknown series. You guys did go to the UFO outpost as well during that. What were some of the places you hit? And at the end of that, can you tell us where those can be found so people can watch them?
For season 1 of Trails to the Unknown.
Yes.
Let's see. Well, we did an episode on Helltown, which is a place near where I lived in Ohio for most of my life. It was only in the last maybe 7 years I've moved out to Colorado. So we filmed that back then before I moved, which is sort of an urban legend kind of place with a little bit of everything. So that's a fun episode. Then we did an episode at the UFO Watchtower, which was really cool. We actually caught what I think is more paranormal evidence than UFO evidence when we were up there. We did the only overnight ghost hunt in the Glen Isle Resort in Bailey, which I think yielded was the best paranormal investigation I ever did until Blue Hill. So there was a lot of stuff that happened there. We did an overnight at the Hamel House in Georgetown, Colorado, which is an old historic 1800s home. And then we did a 2-year investigation of Bigfoot that revolved around some of my father-in-law's property and some areas not too far from Estes Park. So for season 2, we've got some really great stuff. We did an overnight in the undeveloped cave system that's next to the Cave of the Winds up in Colorado Springs. That's the undeveloped one, so the no electricity, and we were underground doing a paranormal investigation, which was really cool. We did a overnight weekend at the Boyd House in Boyd, Minnesota, where we
nice.
captured some really cool stuff and had a crazy time. But we went out there in, I think, late February, and it was minus 20 degrees. And we were there for 2 full days and 1 overnight, and we didn't see a single soul in Boyd at all, because everybody was locked in. But yeah, it's the coldest I think I've ever been. So that kind of revolves around that. And we did a episode in Roswell, New Mexico, where we interviewed some people at the museum there and did our road trip out to the Roswell crash site. And so that's going to be pretty cool.
Right on.
And then we've got a couple more, the Bigfoot episode. And then we've got one other one that we're still kind of in development on.
Right on. The Boyd House we had, that's Kelly that owns that, right? I think that was her name. We had her on this show. Oh, Shelly. That's right. Shelly.
Yeah.
Yep. She was on the show, and yeah, she has that, and then the Masonic Temple, and man, both of her locations sound great. Good to know someone that has been out there. We'll probably hit you up and ask you about that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we went out there a few years ago, right in the middle of COVID. So it was right as COVID was kind of breaking up a little bit, and we got $50 flights on Frontier Airlines or something, and I got the whole team out there for just a couple $100. So we was like, yeah, let's just go for it because it's so affordable.
Heck yeah.
Hardly anyone on the plane and no one at the airport, and here we are in Minnesota in the middle of winter. Like, what are we doing?
Season 1 is complete and it's out on streaming services. Where can people find that to watch it?
It's all over the place. It's on YouTube. It's on Amazon, Tubi. There's a whole list. There's probably a dozen or more places that you can go watch it.
Yeah, those are some good ones that most people have, Amazon, and so.
Yeah, if you look it up on your TV or something, I'm sure it'll come up there. The distributor we use seems to just put it all over the place, so it's in a lot of spots.
Nice.
I find new ones every day, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I've really enjoyed the Trails to the Unknown series so
Oh, thank
far.
you.
Personally, I'm looking forward to season 2 to come out because, yeah, I really like the Watchtower episode y'all did. I think that was one of my favorites, just because I've been kind of infatuated or obsessed with that place over the past like year or two. You know, just constantly researching and looking it up, and eventually I'll make it down there. But
Yeah, it's a cool place, and the area that's up in that San Luis Valley up in the mountains is just amazing. The views up there are just incredible. But no, I appreciate that. So our show is a little different where we like to have fun, and it's really about the road trip part of it. And you know, we're doing paranormal stuff, and we are serious investigators, and the evidence we collect is real. But you know, it's supposed to be a little lighthearted, not a comedy, but it's supposed to be fun to watch.
And yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say that's why I think I enjoy your guys' show so much. Is you have fun doing it. You can tell you guys truly enjoy getting out doing what you do, and it's not, you know, super serious. We have to be taken serious at all times, right?
Right,
Like you're
right.
allowed to have fun. You're doing
You
something you
are.
enjoy.
You are.
Like,
You know, and we're real, so we're not out there going, "Oh my God, do you see that?" You know, it's
yep,
the reaction. We may say that, but it's because something really, you know, the front door just slammed or something.
right, yeah,
yeah.
But there's no staged reaction shots, and we don't go back and do pickups on stuff like that. So either we got it or we didn't.
Yep.
nice, yep,
That's how we feel too. Yeah. You know, was a camera going? Nope. Well, then we
No.
had that
and
experience.
we don't do it.
Yeah, we
Yep.
got to experience that, but oh
Yep.
well.
We can talk about it, but we've got nothing to show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that happens. That happens.
Yeah. You know, it seems that when you're doing like paranormal stuff, you know, because you do so much, but the paranormal side, like it happens that way. You can film for hours and hours, but the second you turn it off, that's when like
That's when all
big
hell
thing
breaks
seems
loose.
to happen. You know, and you're like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I recently invested in a 360 camera, which has a
Oh.
lens on both sides, and it can film a 360. And I haven't been able to use it in like a real investigation. I have used it with the Bigfoot stuff, but I'm talking about like an indoor paranormal one. But my
right.
plan is to just set that up and let it roll, so that way we always have coverage, at least some kind of coverage of everything. And that's another trick from filmmaking I learned with when you're interviewing people, is as I'm setting up the interview and getting lighting set and people mic'd up and everything, I'm rolling, because some of the best stuff comes when
Off the cuff.
off the cuff, when you're not expecting it. I may ask a question that they answered earlier just to get it, you know, more official on camera, but the earlier description was way better than the one that they give me now. So it's like I like to
Right.
have those options. So
Heck
I
yeah.
always run in, set the camera up, hit record, and then set everything else up while it's going.
Nice.
Nice. Blue Hill, Nebraska, a haunting on Blue Hill. Of course, and I'm going to say everybody's friend, Bigfoot Kenny owns that house, you know, everybody's friend. Such a nice guy, super cool guy, you know. He had you guys out there. That's out there for everyone to see. What can you tell us about that one for our watchers?
So yeah, I met Kenny maybe about 7 years ago. He was friends with all the Bigfoot people that I had met so far in Colorado, and everyone had talked about him, and we just kept missing each other for a while. And then I finally met him, and I was like, "Who is this guy? Like, what is going on with him?" But we fast became friends, and we have a very, very strong bond. We've worked on a lot of different things, and I have a tremendous respect for him. But he came to one of our Bigfoot events, and he's like, "Hey, I bought this house in Nebraska, and I got weird stuff going on. And anyway, I found this stuff in the basement, and I took it out of the house, and the weird stuff stopped. And I just wanted to give it to you and see what you could do with it." So he gave it to me, and it wasn't what I expected. You know, there's the old book is in there, and the haunted doll, and all these different things. So I just grabbed a camera and started filming, because it's just that little voice in my head said that this might be something. Let's be prepared if it is. But in the film, you'll see the Kenny giving us the stuff. And that was one of the few recreations we had to do because we weren't prepared to receive the stuff when we actually received the stuff. Because we were literally, I think we were at Bigfoot Days in Estes Park, and we were just setting stuff up, and all of a sudden he just walks over with this box, and I had a
Here you
freak
go,
out.
guys.
I had a freak out when I looked to see what was in there. I was like, "Oh my god, what did you just give me?"
Yeah.
So shortly after Bigfoot Days, there was a event in Nebraska. So we went out to Nebraska for that. We were speakers at an event out there, and we met Kenny at his house out there the second night we were there. And that was the first thing we filmed for Blue Hill, was the investigation in the basement, where we made contact and all kinds of, I mean, it was probably one of the best investigations I've ever had. It still sends chills up my spine of what we were able to do, and just the way that Kenny and I connected through it, and that energy came through to the spirits or something. It was just kind of lightning in a bottle that happened. But we left out of there that night, and I said, we have the end of our movie. We just have to make the rest of it now. Yeah. So that's kind of how it goes with me, is, I film what I think might be something, and half the time it never sees the light of day, and it's just a bunch of footage that didn't really pan out. And sometimes like this, it's like, okay, we've got to build something around this now, because it's just that good.
Well, and we were out there in March, and it's easy to build around that. That place is
intense,
super cool, and the basement was good. But an upstairs bedroom was off the hook for us.
That's awesome, because we didn't do anything outside of the basement. Literally, the first time we stepped foot in, we did the basement investigation, and then that was it. We went back one other time just to pick up some B-roll and stuff, but we didn't investigate there because I just, where am I going to go with that?
Right. Yep. Well, we drove out on a Friday, and we get out there. And Kenny had told us, he goes, yeah, there's like a restaurant in town or a bar or whatever. So we went and got some food at the little grocery store. We go back and we get our stuff put away, and we're like, okay, we'll go in and we'll see. And it's pizza. And really, I mean, it's the best pizza in town.
Only pizza in town, I'm sure.
Yep.
The only pizza, but it's still a really good pizza.
And they can make each pie at the bar. It's pretty cool.
But we walk in, and like, it's right out of a movie where like everyone was like, and like the TV stopped, there's no sound, and everyone's just looking, and then everything picked back up. So we sat down, and the owner, who I think is probably the mayor of the town too,
I think so,
come over, and we started talking, and what are you guys doing in town? And as a paranormal investigation group, you're always a little hesitant, but it's like, well, we're paranormal investigators. Oh, the haunted house. You can talk to anyone in here, and they can tell you a story.
Yeah. So, well, that's something that I really like about what we do with our Twisted Tree Films production company is we try to bring these stories that no one's heard of before. We did that with the Back 80. We did that with Blue Hill. I did a film all about my Bigfoot experiences over, a 5 or 6 year period called Spiritual Bigfoot. That's been doing really well lately. It's kind of taken off a second or third life here. Wow. But we try to bring these stories. So it's really kind of cool to hear that we sort of put Blue Hill on the paranormal map. I love that.
Yeah. We did catch you. We first met you at the Atlas Theater here in town.
Yeah.
Where you were showing the premiere, which was, it's great. I had already seen it on a streaming service, but we went down there, and you guys put on a heck of a show. You had all the items up on the stage, and we were also lucky enough that Kenny had brought those out to the house before we got there.
Yeah.
So
I had them, so he had to come over to my house and get them because I still had them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, Alan has those. I'm like, well, we can meet you. Oh, I can just get him out there. I'm like, that's a drive.
Yeah, not for Kenny. He'll drive 6 to 8 hours, 2 or 3 times a day. Like, how do you even find time to do that?
Yeah, super cool guy. I believe he started Bigfoot Days in Estes. So anyone watching, we were down there this last year. You can see all those pictures on our WOW page, and get down there and check that out. Gosh, we've covered so much just so quick, but
Well, we're currently in production. We have a lot filmed, a ton, on a movie about Kenny, about his story,
oh, nice.
the Bigfoot guy of Estes Park. So um, I, I've been wrestling with how to tell this story and reading on storytelling, and just I want to up my game by a lot. So I'm really diving in and being a student of this whole thing, and I've completely changed my perspective on how I want to do this. So now I have to go refilm a whole bunch of reshoot a bunch of stuff, but it's okay. It'll be worth it. But I think I really want people who don't know Kenny to feel like they know Kenny after this film. So it needs a little more intimacy, I
Amazing.
guess, a
Yeah.
little more personalizedness that I didn't do. But yeah, so I always wanted to do a paranormal film. I was just kind of looking for the right thing. There's so many TV shows, like, I'm not going to go to the Stanley Hotel and make a documentary about it. I mean, everybody's been there. So just
Right.
trying to find that right thing. So when, spoiler alert, when a haunted doll falls on your lap, that's an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up. And finally, I had a chance to do an actual paranormal film, because I've been doing Bigfoot stuff and a little bit of alien stuff up until that point. But primarily I've been a paranormal investigator. So it's sort of just, I don't know. I'm picky, I guess.
So is this something that you have always done, or did you have a real job and then come into the film production side?
So I've been doing paranormal investigating for a long time, maybe 20 plus years. I got into the Bigfoot world somewhere around 2009, 2010, 11 is when it really got pretty heavy. That's when I got brought into the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, and I was actually an investigator working cases. And I worked on a film called Minerva Monster that came out in Ohio. I did pretty much, me and my business partner, Jesse Morgan, we did all the filming and editing and a huge chunk of work on that film. And then, so that's kind of what got us started in the filmmaking aspects. And then we broke off from that group and had the opportunity to make the Back 80. And that was sort of the first chance for Jesse and I to see what we were made of and what we could do. And then Trails to the Unknown sort of started to come around after that. And we've done a few others since then. But yeah, I just kind of fell into it. I always wanted to do a film since I was little. I always wanted to do like a 70s style horror movie. I fantasized about that for so long. And then I finally was able to buy a really nice professional video camera around that 2009 timeframe. And I tried probably 3-4 times to make that 70s horror film and never really got it off the ground. So when the opportunity came to do some Bigfoot filming, and then I started working on documentaries, and I really found a love for it, because I don't care how much planning you do or what kind of movie you want to make. When you're filming a documentary, you get what you get, and that's the movie you have. So most of the magic comes in the editing room where you put it all together. And to me, that's really interesting, because the movies kind of make themselves in some way.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. We've we came into filming kind of blind, and just from what we've seen on TV or seeing productions like yours, and it's a learning process, and it's a long learning process.
Yeah.
And you kind of you think you have the way that you want to do it, and then, well, we want to add this, so now you take this right hand turn, and nope, we think we want it to go like this, and
Yep.
how
Yeah.
our layout is, or how the production's going.
Yeah, the
Well,
creative
and I can't tell
process
you how many
definitely isn't
times
a
like we
straight
set
line.
up a scenario, like we're going to put this person in the perfect situation to have this happen, and nothing happens. So now it's like, what do I do with all of this? We just wasted a whole night and we have nothing. So
Yeah.
that was supposed to be my big closing, so now I
Yep.
got to rethink it all. But yeah, it's been a great journey. And I always and still do love the Quentin Tarantino films. Pulp Fiction was
Oh,
one
yeah.
that really I wanted to become a filmmaker after watching that. And there's a quote from him that I kind of live by, and that was, not that I was ever going to go to film school, but save your money on film school and use it to go make your movie. So, his whole point being, if you want to learn how to do it, just do it. practice.
Learn by doing.
Just
Yep.
do
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I found that rather than putting our money into fancy red cameras and all these lenses and all this kind of stuff, we buy what we need, just that works, and then we put our money in going to places, or paranormal equipment or night vision or all those kinds of other things. So
Yep.
that gives us a lot more well-rounded approach to filmmaking, because now we can do investigations with SLS cameras and Tesla coils and infrared and thermals and all these other things that we wouldn't be able to have if we put it all into fancy red cameras. So I would rather have a good looking movie that has awesome content than a beautiful looking movie that's lacking.
Mediocre. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, over the course of, because I've always been interested in filmmaking. Always wanted to do a podcast, always wanted to, do some sort of show or documentary, but just never had the backing, right? Like people to do it with. And I just, couldn't bring myself to take that on by myself. And then, so once I came on with Way Out West, and me and Aaron have kind of hit the ground running, with the filming and podcast thing. But I've kind of take the same approach. Like, you don't need the, the $15,000-$20,000 cameras. I've really tried to focus myself onto like what the run and gun cinematographers use, right? For
I will look
documentary.
at a piece of gear and say, how many different things can I use it for? Just one?
Yep.
Well, it's got to be a better option. If I can get 3 or 4 out of it, then we're going to buy it.
Yep. Exactly.
Well,
that's what I've tried, because my main experience with filmmakers were, war documentaries. From when I was deployed and stuff like that, we used to have, people that would come and get embedded in our unit. And so I'd be watching them, what they're doing, and, kind of soaking all that in. And so finally getting the chance to do it and trying to build my kid out like they've got it, I found has been really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the thing that we bring with our Twisted Tree Films is that Jesse and I, and now my wife Anna's part of the group, we are paranormal people first and foremost. We've morphed into pretty strong Bigfoot people now too. But the filmmaker is just a hat we put on. Like, we're really, truly interested in what we're doing. We're not just out there doing things for a story. Like, we would be doing it anyway.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's like you said with Trails to the Unknown, you see that passion in there. As we truly do love the paranormal Bigfoot side of it more than the filmmaking side.
And I think personally, I have such a hard time getting into a lot of the YouTube channels, and nothing against them. They do some great work. It's a personal preference. I feel like it's more, a lot of these people are there for the filming versus the investigation.
Yeah.
And that kind of comes through. You just,
It does.
I don't feel the passion, right? Or the enjoyment that,
I've worked
feel
with
doing it.
Some other, filming groups and stuff along the way. And they see a chance to make a quick buck and make a name for themselves. They don't care. And you can, like you said, you can see they don't care about the subject. They picked Bigfoot or whatever because that to them was the easiest way to get what they wanted.
Yep.
Let me throw in the quick buck, because there's no quick buck in it.
No.
As we sit here, we know that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, you guys have some stuff on YouTube and you have some stuff on a streaming service and you have this, and oh, you're making some money. And it's like, no.
I mean, it takes us a year to 2 years just to put one of these together to do it, the way that we do it. And then, we, when it comes out, there's a surge of money that comes in from it. But, that's where we get the next one. That's right. So, we're not, I don't think any of it's ever hit my bank account. It all gets eaten up by the next one and the next one and the next one.
Well, and the next one is travel and new equipment. And, that's where that stuff's going. It's not going in anyone's bank account for sure.
Right.
So,
And if we can become like kind of self-sustaining, I think I'd be happy, right? Like,
that's where we are. And it's great because I don't care about taking money out,
right.
The day after the Blue Hill premiere, which was in Estes Park, we made enough money. I went up to Costco and I bought a new Mac Mini.
Nice. Yeah.
That was what we did with the premiere money, is we put it right back, and now that's our editing
station.
So
How many towns did you take that to? Because I know you did Hastings and you did the Stanley and you did Cheyenne. How many towns did you take that premiere to?
So we did it premiered in Estes, and then we did the road show in Cheyenne and Hastings, and then we did a showing in Denver, and then we took it out to the Haunted America conference in Illinois.
Nice.
And then we actually showed it again last year just down the street here in Westminster, Colorado. So we took it around as much as we could. Yeah. I had probably 3 or 4 more that were on the hook, but I couldn't quite close the deal. It's hard because what people don't know is those theaters aren't doing that out of the
kindness of their heart.
Yeah.
They don't care about the aspiring filmmaker trying to get their
I had
stuff
to
out.
pay up front to rent those theaters. And then I had to travel and get the whole team there, and then we had to sell tickets and hope we made our money back. And we probably broke even, but it was worth it because it was a great time, and the people that came out they loved it. But when we showed it in Hastings, which is 30 minutes or so from Blue Hill,
right?
We had 120 some people show up, and we had a real big theater, and it was really, really, really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
People from Blue Hill were there. Neighbors were there. It was.
How did they accept that? Did you get to talk to those people, and how did they accept that their town had something like that, and you guys filmed it and have it out there now?
Yeah, no, the reception was really, really good. I think they were excited about it. We were really nervous. Again, being my first paranormal film, the thing about paranormal that's very different from Bigfoot, I found, is that you're talking about a relative of families and, daughters and husbands and things of people that are dead. So there's a whole nother level of sensitivity that I was aware of, but it didn't really hit me until I'm staring at people like that, at the theater. Right. And it was good. I think the family expressed that they would have liked to have been sort of included in the film. I don't know. At the time, we were trying to be really respectful about that, trying to be very careful not to show last names and not to give away all those things, and just kind of keep it an ambiguous story. Mm-hmm. So going to that level was just something that we didn't really consider. I think just we were being overly sensitive, maybe too sensitive to the families. But again, I wasn't really prepared for that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
That's and I'd be as I'm putting it together, and I'm showing like gravestones, and I'm like, oh boy, like these are people are going to know this.
That learning curve, to that.
Yeah.
Well, and then premiering a film like that in a town like Hastings or Blue Hill, I mean, it's a blue collar town.
It is.
It's all
very
ranchers
small.
and farmers, very small.
Yeah.
Most of those towns have, pretty staunch religious upbringings for everybody, right? So, it's definitely, I think, a hit or miss thing, with premiering something like that.
Well, and I had a huge fear that, I would talk to like the daughter or something, and she's like, oh no, that was my daughter. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm like, okay, there goes the whole movie. So
yep.
I'm afraid to ask. I mean, the chances of that are slim, really, really slim, but it was just, I was too chicken to do it.
Yeah, I can see that. It is that, that fine line of what do you want to put out there, and you don't want to be exploited either, so
that's why we really tried to focus on, the objects and Kenny and really not make it all about, the deceased people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I do think that the doll has a spiritual attachment that's not related to the family whatsoever. We have no idea who it is or where they came from, but it doesn't seem to be any direct tie to the family, unless you guys came up with something more.
We don't want to give too much away either.
Not yet, but we have some stuff to talk to you guys and Kenny about for darn sure. Once we
before we get stuff out, we would definitely be in touch and get with you and him.
Yeah.
And he's, again, such a cool guy. What a great opportunity. He's like, anytime you want. And I was like, how about in 2 weeks? Okay. Like,
hey, Jason, cool. We're going to Blue Hill in 2 weeks. Sweet.
Yep. Yeah, Kenny will do anything
just
for
added
anybody.
a new member, and we're like, we're already road tripping. And she's like, okay. So it was,
Yeah.
Kenny is just a sweetheart of a person, and
He is.
I remember the first time we met him was at the Blue Hill premiere, and
Oh, really?
he pulled up in his truck with the the Bigfoot lounging on the tailgate, right, and
Yep.
he's in his Bigfoot suit walking around, and we're like, who is this guy? This is cool. And then we started talking to him, and it was Kenny.
yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
Kenny.
I will say that doll in Blue Hill, we have done or tried to do, a ton of research on it. Aaron is our, like resident historian. He knows how to research the hell out of stuff. I'm in cybersecurity. I know how to Google with the best of them, and nothing. There is nothing on these damn doll anywhere.
Well, we found some stuff that didn't really make it in the film. We actually found there was a listing on Etsy for one. And it was very, 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 very similar, but it had a couple key things that the one we have doesn't. I think like it had both legs and there was a different stain on it or something. But and then we did find a pattern, like what you would have got at
you
like
were able
Dylan
to.
Fabrics or
I
something.
knew it was a pattern doll.
So it was homemade from a pattern, and I bought the pattern. I have it here somewhere in this room somewhere.
Nice.
Nice.
And one of our team members actually used the pattern and tried to make a version of the doll.
Oh, that's cool.
So we have like a homemade one that didn't come out quite like the one we have, but
Right.
Yeah.
Not to give anything away, but there was another one out there.
Well, what's weird is when we tried to dig into that, the listing, you click on the listing and it was down. We emailed the person who was selling it, and we never heard back. It was almost like there was an image that Google still had, and that was all that was left of it. It just, I think there was one that was very, very similar, made from the same pattern.
Yeah, well, there's surprises.
I can see that.
Yeah,
there's some great surprises, and when we're in the green room, we can tell you those.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. We've covered the stuff that you've done, the stuff you're doing. You're going through and editing now. What's the ultimate? Do you still want to do this 70s horror film?
It's but it's less of a passion now because I've really embraced this documentary style. If the right thing fell into my lap, I would definitely do it for sure. Well, I got super inspired by the movie Paranormal Activity when that came out.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, man, they filmed this all with one camera. I could totally do this. So when I was shopping
like a
for
$20,000 budget or something like that.
Yeah. So when I was shopping for a camera, that was the camera I bought, the same camera they filmed that movie with. Because I was like, I'm going to do that. But yeah, it hasn't happened, and now that camera is aged out and it's in the closet. And we have way better ones that are half the size. So
yep.
Yeah. Any questions for him, Jason?
No, I think it's been a great conversation. Learned a lot. Yeah. It's, like I said, I've really enjoyed watching, what you guys put out. So being able to talk to you kind of a little bit about the process of it has been really cool for me. So,
well, the other thing too, that I'll get into briefly here if we got a couple minutes.
We do.
Absolutely.
When I started out this whole thing, it was in the Bigfoot world, and it was a running joke, not just with me, but any other filmmaker I made or anybody trying to do these kinds of YouTube videos is, as soon as you turn the camera on or bring the camera out, then nothing happens. Like it's just complete quiet. But I found like over the last 5 or 6 years, the more we've gotten into this, we've gotten really lucky and really good at doing this, so that we don't have to go in and fake things. Like we get evidence now. It's not that doesn't seem to be true. We can have the cameras rolling and still have things happen. I'm not quite sure what changed or what happened, but I'm glad it did.
Wonder if it's got something to do with kind of the focus level of the investigation, right? Like, because when you're starting out filming, right, you're kind of more focused on the gear, trying to make sure you got the right shot and your lighting's good and all that. And as you progress, that stuff more happens naturally, right? And just kind of part of the process of the whole thing. And maybe it's just more of a natural environment that the spirit energy can come out in.
It could be. I think there is a comfort level, and I think it's also growth in our investigating too. Even without the cameras, I think we're more in tune with what we should be doing and when and how to do things and when to recognize that something is happening, and just more aware of that, more sensitive to um, what's happening around us, more in tune with that, especially with the Bigfoot stuff. Like, we're our whole team now is pretty good at knowing, like, okay, something's about to go down. Like, you just get that there's just the air temperature changes, it gets a little darker, a little lighter, or it gets a little quieter, a little lot something. It's just a combination of things, and you start to realize, like, just bring the camera up and hit record, because something's about to happen.
Something's kicking off. Yeah.
Or the people you're with. There's Kenny as we talk about Bigfoot and stuff. And
I think the people
the
you have
knowledge
with
that you get from him, because I'm sure that you're hitting him up and, hey, here's what's going on and here's what we're doing, and the knowledge he has on that subject is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're all about collaboration and learning from others. We're not the best. We don't have all the answers. We're just another group out there doing our thing.
Yeah.
We do get tunnel vision a lot of times on purpose. We just kind of keep our head down and do our own thing. We try not to get caught up in drama. I'm not trying to, one up somebody out there. I'm going to make the film I'm going to make. It's just because this is what I made. It's not inspired by, anything else other than that.
Exactly. Yeah. Just keep your head down and do what you're doing. That's what we do. We're, I think part of that is we're lucky enough to be out here in the West. We're few and far between, groups. And then we don't have, so we're not packed in like they are out East.
Yeah.
I think that, when you start trying to hit a place and someone's there and they have, it is what it is. I don't know what they do. We're lucky enough out here. And that Western culture is a little different too.
Agreed.
We help each other out here. Hey, do you need something? If you guys had a camera go down and you got hold of us, we'd be like, yeah, we'll do what we can for you. I mean, that's what we do out here,
Yeah, and I've learned that, and I love that, because I definitely did not have that experience out East. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean without getting into drama, but there was drama, and not to say that I haven't had some drama out here, but it's not been
nearly, and
it's not personal for me or anything. It's just the nature of it. I mean, it's tough when you work with a lot of people, and some people get recognition and others don't, and sometimes people get upset about that. It doesn't bother me necessarily, or if it did, I wouldn't say.
Right.
Right.
But it is what it is. I don't do it for that. I do it because I love it.
Yep. That's what we do. We do it because we love it, and it's something that we've done for a while. And I'm not the Bigfoot person, but with everyone that we've had on in the last 10 months, I'm definitely leaning towards there is something out there. We've talked about going down around that area and seeing what we can do and see, and hopefully someday we can get down there, or maybe we meet up with you guys one weekend and do something. So
me and Kenny could take you to all kinds of places.
Oh,
that'd be
awesome. I can believe it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Alan, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been such a good show. And we will definitely stay in touch on some of that Blue Hill stuff.
Absolutely.
We need to get Kenny in on that, and we're going to start editing that stuff here soon, and we'll keep in touch with that.
Yeah, I look forward to see what you got. I'm really curious.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there. That's a really good place.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
Cool. We're going to throw you into the green room. We'll catch back up with you. Did you have something to say? Sorry.
No, I was saying it's a really cool house. I was surprised when we walked in. I was like, wow, this looks like we just stepped into a time capsule.
I know.
Yes.
Gosh, it is way cool. The banister on the stairs and just yeah. Such a neat place.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Oh, such a good show. He's a really nice guy. I'm glad we had him on. I know we had talked to him at the premiere for a little bit.
Yep, and saw him up at Bigfoot Days, and then yeah, kind of happy we were able to get him on and talk to him about what they do. You know, like I told him, I really enjoy Trails to the Unknown. It's I highly recommend y'all go out and check it out. It's just such a fun show but they get some really cool stuff on there. Like,
Yeah.
they are amazing investigators.
And they're not, we do the paranormal. It's what we do. They do everything with the Bigfoot investigations and the UFO watchtower. And I know we've talked about it, and you're like, you know how I feel about camping.
Yep.
Not a
and camper.
Like, hey, you want to back of the truck camp? And I'm like, well, if there's an air mattress, one night can't be horrible.
Is that close enough to a hotel room for one night? I'll fluff your pillow, dude. Come on, let's go. We can get a little mints.
Kenny's over here in the comments. Kenny, thank you. Because of you, we were able to go out and check out that amazing place. We will be getting with you on everything that we found out there.
Yep.
So
we're kind of winding down from our transition, spinning up the podcast, and we're coming up on a year with the podcast now, so we're going to be kind of diving in, getting some editing knocked out, and I at least want to get that Blue Hill one done fairly soon.
Yep. We do have season 2 premiere that we're finishing up editing. I need to do some voiceover work, and maybe that'll be episode 2.
Yeah, there we go.
So don't forget, you're going to be able to see all that on YouTube now for free, no longer on other streaming services. So watch for that over there. Watch the WoW page, watch the Unraveling page, and we will notify you when that stuff's up. When Alan's group gets the new Trails into the Unknown up, we'll let you know about that too, because it's a great series. Thanks everyone for watching tonight, and we'll see you.
See y'all next week. Unraveling the Darkness would like to thank Horn Paranormal Research and Twinkle Twinkle Little Store for sponsoring our show. If you're craving more paranormal content, don't forget to check out our YouTube and Facebook channels at Way Out West Paranormal and Unraveling the Darkness. You can catch all of our episodes of Unraveling the Darkness on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe, as it helps others find the show and join in on the paranormal fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, keep your lights on, stay safe, and remember, the truth is out there, and it might just be closer than you think.